You are listening to Lesson 2 Chapter 2 of Form 4 African History. Cameroon, General Education. Narrated by Wacheseh Academy. Role played by the main nationalist, and parties in the attainment of independence. 1. Azikiwe/NCNC. Active in the Nigerian youth movement as opposed to the Clifford construction. Founded the West African Pilot newspaper, which exposed the evils of British colonialism, and mobilized the masses in the struggle for independence. He properly exploited the Atlantic Charter of 1941 against colonialism. Founded the NCNC to secure the immediate independence of Nigeria and British Cameroons. Organized strikes involving 30,000 workers lasted for 37 days with severe effects on the British. Led the NCNC protest delegation to London in August 1947 to review the Richards Constitution to make provision for self-government. NCNC took an active part in the Ibadan Conference of 1950, which led to the Macpherson Constitution, which granted semi-internal self-government for Nigeria in 1952. Azikiwe's activities in the eastern region led to the collapse of the Macpherson Constitution in May 1953, which opened the way for a new constitution. In the London Constitutional Conference of 1953, NCNC demanded self-government by 1956. The NCNC toured to convince the people to accept self-government in 1956. The NCNC fought for the Littleton Constitution, which gave Nigeria some degree of internal government in 1954. In the London Conference, the NCNC helped to convince the AG to accept Lagos as the federal capital. They helped to convince the NPC in the London Conference of 1958 to accept independence in 1960. 2. Awolowo/AG. Raised anti-colonial awareness in the Western region. He was active in the NIN fighting for constitutional reforms. In 1953, the AG demanded self-government 1956. The AG was in the north in 1953 to explain the importance of self-government in 1956. They fought for the Littleton Constitution in 1954, which granted some internal self-government. The AG abandoned her opposition for Lagos as a federal territory in the London Conference of 1957 as a concession towards independence. They were active in the London Conference of 1958 and convinced the NPC to accept complete independence in October 1960. 3. Ahmadu Bello/NPC. NPC was founded in 1951 and adopted a moderate approach towards independence. NPC mounted pressure on the British for the academic and economic advancement of the northern region in order to prepare the territory for independence. They accepted the independence of Nigeria on October 1, 1960, at the London Constitutional Conference. They convinced many backward people in the north about independence. In the federal elections of 1959, the NPC won most of the seats and the NPC convinced the NCNC to a coalition government which opened the way for independence.